Hello, I'm Wendy Rutledge with the Palm Beach Civic Association, bringing you your March 27th Town of Palm Beach update. And it was a busy morning. There was a somewhat remarkable, somewhat technically frustrating 2-hour meeting, a special town council meeting wherein all the council members phoned in from their own homes, as well as the public was invited to phone in on still more phone lines. So very technically challenging for those in charge there. This was all to allow the public to air their frustrations with the ever overcrowding situation on the lake trail. And needless to say, the town council and the staff got an earful, all boiling down to basically pedestrians versus cyclists.
I've been yelled at, screamed at, the streets aren't safe. If you want to do this, that's fine, but designate a street, because the traffic is so light, designate a street that's just for bicycles.
Couldn't we consider limiting the hours that the bikes are not on the trail? Say like from 8 to 10, 2 to 4, or something like that, instead of the whole day. From 8 to 5 is a lot of hours for bikes to be off.
The trail is probably not even 6 feet wide, especially in some areas. And if we are being advised to stay 6 feet away from one another, to have people pass, to have bikes pass, to have dogs on the trail, I think that it's just something that really flies in the face of what the health professionals are telling us. So I think that what the town manager and chief of police have come up with is an excellent suggestion, and I think that we should continue with that. It's unfortunate. My wife and I and our 2 little dogs are very heavy users of the trail, but we are not using it now because we can't achieve the distancing. But I think without the bikes on the trail, we have a better chance of doing so.
Pedestrians versus cyclists. Fairly impassioned pleas from both groups, wanting their favorite activity to be preserved as an option on the increasingly tightly packed lake trail. Several residents complained that non-residents from across the bridge were creating the overcrowding and asked the town to restrict access to residents only. Legal counsel to the town manager advised that would be unconstitutional.
That would be unconstitutional or unlawful. And further, it would be impossible to enforce. Police officers need to approach people based upon probable cause, and that would be impossible for them to be able to approach each citizen they encounter on the lake trail to ask them to provide ID.
Council members debated a number of options for how to regulate wheels versus feet on the bike trail. Everything from alternating days to mornings versus afternoons. In the end, a vote was passed to give full authority to regulate use of the bike trail to the chief of police and the town manager.
I think what we need to do is to leave this in the hands of the chief of police and Kirk Bluen, so they can monitor it. You're correct, Lou. Donnie, I agree with you. People better wake up and smell the coffee. This is not going to get better. This is going to get worse.
In light of all the views expressed at today's meeting and with the ongoing goal of keeping town residents safe, the town manager adjusted rules governing the bike trail and is now allowing only walkers and runners on the trail from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Cyclists and other permitted uses can utilize the bike trail before 9 a.m. and after 4 in the afternoon. The tireless Councilwoman Maggie Zeidman has these thoughts as we enter the weekend.
Good afternoon. A lot of you have been asking questions, and they're good questions, about how long the coronavirus lives on surfaces. So, no one can give you an exact answer, and if you try to look it up, as I did, you're going to find that there are different answers depending on what source you go to. So I looked at Harvard, I looked at CDC. There's not a lot in there about it, but there were a few things that I'd like to share with you. First of all, on glass, it seems to last the longest, 96 hours, and this is and plastic, 72 hours. Stainless steel, 48 hours, cardboard, 24 hours. So that's something to think about when you're doing take-in and also shopping. Copper, 4 hours. So, I think that when you look at that, it just indicates that you have to be careful about the things that you're bringing into your home. And so I wanted to point you in the direction of a film that I think is very good. And I know it's making the rounds. I saw it. Our daughter had sent it to us. And I know some of the people in our community have been looking at it too, because I've gotten emails from them, and that's great that you watch this. So all you have to do is go in under Dr. Van Wingen, W-I-N-G-E-N. He's a medical doctor. He's in family practice. I believe he's in Michigan, and he's going to show you how to bring groceries into your house and disinfect them. So I'll go over those hours again. Glass is 96, plastic is 72. Stainless steel is 48, cardboard 24, copper 4. And we were talking about earlier aerosols. So that same study showed 3 to 4 hours for aerosols, which are little tiny droplets. And if you breathe them in, then you may get the coronavirus on your mucous membranes, and then you may wind up COVID positive. So I thought that was a good question that you've all had. So if you watch that video, it's going to be very helpful to you, and try to follow his advice. He gives very practical advice. He gives pointers such as shopping for 2 weeks at a time, how to bring your things into the home, how to clean off an area and separate dirty from clean, which is very typically done in hospitals as well. So I think you'll enjoy that. We did have quite a meeting this morning at the town council. We were talking about the lake trail, and I know a number of you probably heard what I have to say about it. Every action that the council has taken, and the town manager and the mayor, everything has been geared toward reducing transmission, flattening the curve, so that we don't use up all the capacity that our hospitals have, and the nurses and the doctors and first responders. So we do these things to protect you. I know it's difficult to change your routines, but please just try and go with it. If we don't have any control, and apparently it's not legal, we don't have the authority to just close down the trail for just Palm Beachers. And I leave that to the lawyers to figure out. But if I'm told that, then I respect that opinion of our trusted attorney, John Randolph. So if there's a lot of influx over the weekend, then the trail just may not be a safe place for people to be at this time. So if you're going out on the lake trail, I'd say go when it's not crowded. Please try to do that. You don't want to be around crowds of people. That's the opposite of what you should be doing. The other thing today is the council, very importantly, agreed on an emergency order by the town manager and the chief of police, and that is shelter in place, safe at home. So think about that, safe at home, and you can look at all of that online. So I'll see you again on Monday. I think it will be an active weekend in terms of cases, and please be well, be safe, follow all of the practices that we've gone over, and we'll see you again Monday. Have a weekend of well-being, I would say, a peaceful weekend. Thank you.
Finally, it's that time of year. No, better put, it's that time in the decade when all of us are asked to do our civic duty, and it's easy. The town of Palm Beach has just issued a request that every single resident of the town please fill out the census form. It is due no later than April 1st, and it's very important for the town to receive all the funding that it needs based on population so that it can continue to fund all the services that we know all the residents enjoy. So let me show you how easy this is. I have already done it, so I can't go all the way through, but it really takes no time at all. You can start right at the Town of Palm Beach website. Click on Census 2020. It's going to take you to the next page. Click here to visit the official Census 2020. And here you are on the census website. You click Respond. It says Welcome. You click Start Questionnaire. Here's where I'm not going to be able to fill this out because each of you should have had something in the mail from the census that will give you a login number. If you don't have that piece of paper, it's not a problem. You can just log in if you do not have Sentence ID. But literally from here, it's going to ask you 3 or 4 more questions about the size of your family, who lives under your roof, the age of the people that live with you, and so on and so forth. It took me 3 minutes, but oh, so important to the town. So I encourage you, please fill out the census form by April 1st. The town did issue a bit of a stronger order to stay home, stay safe today. In essence, it is not a mandatory order, but highly recommended that all of us stay as much as we can in our homes, except for when doing essential activities like going shopping. So pick out a couple good movies, stay at home, stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday.